So we will get started with the Seesaw Library. So this is going to be a really high overview of the Seesaw Library. And so this is really going to get you up and running on your Seesaw lessons right inside the Seesaw Library. So like Jeanette said, my name is Yvonne Post, and I am a professional development and training specialist here at Seesaw. So prior to coming to Seesaw, I was just like you. I would attend summer trainings just like this. I was a classroom teacher. I taught kindergarten, first and second grade. I primarily taught kindergarten. I have a really big heart and passion for our littlest learners. My nephew, my oldest nephew, is getting ready to start kindergarten next year. I'm so excited. I know Jeanette. Jeanette and I do know each other, by the way. Small fun fact. And so, yes, he is getting ready to start kindergarten. I am going to be that auntie that is all over this, helping and just exploring and learning right alongside him. So, again, yes, I do have a big heart for our little learners and teachers. After that, I decided to become an academic technology coach. And I did that. I supported our teachers, administrators, and students from grades PK all the way up through fifth grade. And now I'm here at Seesaw sharing my love and passion with you all. So thank you so much for having me today. And I do live in San Antonio, so right here in the city. And I did work and teach in Northside ISD all of my educational years. So again, so excited to be here with you all. So before we get started, I really want you just to kind of pause and think for just a moment. Has there ever been a time where you found that really awesome, just out there lesson that just had every single thing you needed? It had all of your materials. It really engaged your students. I mean, you came to PLC and you were like, oh my goodness, friends, this is the lesson we need to teach. These are all of the materials we have. I really didn't need to search in 5 different places. And did it really save you time? I mean, I think that's the most crucial thing right now as teachers is it a time saver? And so kind of think to yourself, you're welcome to, drop your idea in the chat. You don't have to, but kind of just put that little note in your head and kind of keep it in the back of your mind as we go through the presentation this morning. I can tell you, for me being a teacher and even being a coach, this was really difficult, trying to find those really solid, high quality lessons that really, were engaging, that you didn't have to find, oh, we found this piece from the district curriculum. Oh, and then we went over here and found this, and then we came and found this. It is, you kind of traveling into different avenues to find really solid lessons. So now let's kind of think about how Seesaw can be this really good supplemental piece of curriculum for you. So now think about Seesaw here and how it can supplement your curriculum with that really ready to assign lessons that you can really trust with your students to accelerate those key foundational skills that you're teaching already in your classroom and really that your students need the most. So here is our objective for today. We're going to learn how to use the Seesaw Library to really support student learning right inside of your classroom. And so again, we're going to learn how to access the Seesaw Library. So I'm going to show you 2 different ways to get there. We're going to explore all of the components of lessons. Our lessons are really, really beefed up. And so it's really important that you understand each piece of a lesson and how you can integrate all of our lessons into all of your instructional routines. And then really, as we're looking at our lessons, how you can see how these are accessible to all of your learners as well. So first, let's go ahead and take a look at how you can access the Seesaw Library. And so as we dive into the Seesaw Library, I do want to point out some of your T-test domains here. This really is going to touch on Dimension 1.1 and where it's really relevant to your students, It's really, you're going to see how it focuses on all of your learners in your classroom. And you're going to see how it can tie back to your objectives, your standards. And this also will touch on a little bit of instruction dimension 2.1 as well. So again, the Seesaw Library contains standards aligned high quality instruction that supports purposeful practice and student learning through critical thinking, creativity, and collaboration. So let's go ahead and take a look together. So you're welcome to follow along with me in your own teacher Seesaw account, or you can just watch me and then you're going to have some time to explore as well. So I'm going to jump right in to my Seesaw teacher account. And of course, when you log into Seesaw, this is like your home base. You're going to be logged into the teacher journal. And so there are two ways that you can get to the library. You can tap on the library button that's in that upper left corner by messages, and it's going to take you straight into the library. If you don't remember that way, that's okay. You can always tap on your green add button. That's the green circle with the plus sign in it. And then you can tap on assign activity. When you do that, it's going to take you to your My Library. So you'll just slide over to the left and then you'll tap on your Seesaw Library. So two easy ways to get there. Just remember though that it is defaulted to your grade level. And so if you are a kindergarten teacher, it's going to default, it'll be highlighted in blue. So here I'm a first grade teacher in this account. So it is defaulted to first grade content. And so my little teacher tip to you is I love just tapping all, so that way I can see all of the content, because I know that all of our students in our classroom come to us with all different needs. And so it's really important that I see all of the content that my Seesaw Library has to offer me. So for today's example, I am going to click on second grade. And I'm going to show you all of the tiles that we offer. So every single tile, which is like early literacy, that's a tile. That's called a collection. And so you're going to see that we offer many collections, all by content area. So we've got math. You're going to see that we have English, language arts, and early literacy. So early literacy is really going to focus on our earliest learners, our pre-emergent readers. We've even got science, we've even got lessons in Spanish. And so I'm even going to show you how you can find, if you click on a math lesson, how you can see if that lesson has been transadapted into a Spanish lesson already, so you don't have to go back and forth. Really nice. So I'm going to go ahead and click into a math lesson. So we're going to explore a math collection today. And so when I click in math, notice again, I am in the second grade. I'm looking at just second grade right now. Notice here, I can see everything that's filtered out just for second grade. So we've got great lessons in here. We've got power blocks, visual data talks, calendar math, math skills games. Of course, if I click all, I'm going to see a little bit more. But you will also notice here off to the left, it's going to show you what grade level those span as well. So I'm going to search, I'm going to look at Power Blocks Math, because this is a really awesome collection. Here you're going to see like a little overview of what Power Blocks has to offer. And so if you click on View 15 Lessons, every little lesson here is going to give you, again, another overview. And so for here, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to look at how do I skip count by 5s, 10s, and 100s. Again, I can see that my students are going to be able to learn how to do this. I can also see that I've got great activities built within this lesson. So the first thing I see is an introduction. And so I really encourage you to watch this introduction whole group. So if I present this to class, I'm able to watch this quick learning video whole group. With Puppet Rainbow Bear.
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
yo, what you doing, Rainbow Bear?
And so you can choose to watch this whole group if you'd like, or you can pull this into small group instruction, independent learning, center stations. And notice here too, on the second slide, you've got discussion questions. So again, whole group, small group, and then don't forget too, you have access to all of the multimodal tools during present to class. So you can point out certain things. I know one of you were talking about a smart board. So definitely bring your kids up and allow them to experience the multimodal tools during that whole group experience. And so now you have a variety of activities for that purposeful practice here. And so you can really pick and choose what activities you as the teacher would like your students to do. Again, they don't have to do all of these activities. You can just decide, oh, well, you know what? They need a little extra practice on the sword. So we're going to practice this together. And then I'm going to have them do this piece together. Or they're going to do this as independent practice. And so that's where you would go in and you would actually assign that to your students. And don't forget too, we have the show what you know. So at the very top as well, you also have the jump to lesson plan. And so this is where you have that built out lesson plan for you as the teacher. You're going to get your objective. You have your resources, check out how you can support your multilingual learners, teacher tips, how to teach it, the amount of time this is going to take you and your students. Again, this is just an estimated time. We all know that our students have different learning needs. So again, estimated time. And remember how I told you if this lesson was going to be in Spanish. So if you click right here, this is how you'll know if this is in Spanish. It says the Spanish version here. You can also print your lesson plan. So let me show you the Spanish version just in case you want to see it. So it'll open a brand new tab in Seesaw. Just a note here though, everything is in Spanish. So make sure you're very well versed in your Espanol. So everything will be in Spanish here. So we are continuously looking for feedback on our Spanish content. So if you are a bilingual teacher, we would love to get your feedback on our Spanish content. So again, coming back into Seesaw, this is a really good lesson to look at. This again is a Power Blocks lesson. So now I'm going to come back out. I'm just going to come back into the Seesaw library. And I'm going to show you one more thing. Here at the very top, there is a search bar. So if at any time you are looking at your curriculum and let's say the focus of your unit is retelling, you can simply type retell. And of course, again, I'm in second grade, so I'm going to see all of the second grade content for retelling. So I can see anything that we have for retell. So this is a great way just to do a quick search of our Seesaw lessons on retell, or I can simply go to all and I can see everything that we have for retell. So retelling a story, how can I retell a story? So really great content sitting in here. Again, this is supplemental curriculum meant to help with that purposeful practice. So one more thing in here I would like to show you. I'm going to go back to the Seesaw library. So we have Turtle here, and underneath Turtle, we have Search by Standard. If you tap on Search by Standard, it's going to open up into a brand new page. And so just a new tab. And so you're going to notice two things are going to happen. You're going to have search by standard and search by curriculum. A lot of teachers and administrators do not know that we offer this. So all of our Seesaw lessons are standards aligned. So they align right back to the state standards, which are the TEKS. So let's go ahead and see which lessons correlate back to the TEKS. So let's search by standard. And so when we do that, we're just going to come in here to our standards alignment tool. So we're going to select the state of Texas. And then when you do that, it's going to ask for a subject. So you can select any subject that you want. I'm going to go ahead and select mathematics. and then you'll select your grade level. So I'm going to choose first grade, and then you're going to select search. Don't worry, it does like this little thing. I call it like a little glitter thing. And then it's going to bring up all of our TEKs. And so you're going to search for your TEKs here. You can look for any TEK that you are currently working on. And over to the right, you're going to see it has correlations. The number of correlations are the Seesaw lessons that pair up with that TEK. So if I'm looking for ordering of whole numbers up to 120 using place value and open number lines, I see that we have 9 Seesaw lessons that correlate back to that TEK. So again, I have a power blocks. I see we have games. I see we have calendar math. We have some summer learning. So I'm going to choose Power Blocks because we were just looking at that. And so again, it's going to open another tab for you right back into Seesaw. Don't worry, you're never logged out, I promise. So now I can look at this. Just be aware, because we are in the state of Texas and you do have a Texas account, you are missing underneath, you're missing the standard. So would be your job as the teacher to make sure, like in your lesson plans, just to notate that how can I compare numbers using symbols does correlate back to that TEK that you just searched for. That would be your only job as the teacher. And so now you can go through and you can look at this and you're like, oh my goodness, this is wonderful. I really want my students to do this practice activity independently, or I'm going to use this solve as whole group instruction, or I would like to do the show what you know as a quick formative assessment. So really powerful piece here that you can utilize as the teacher. So I'm going to go back to our standards alignment tool. I'm going to show you one more awesome piece. So at the top, I showed you search by standard. Now I'm going to show you search by curriculum. So at the very bottom, we have all of our curriculum alignments. So I know for SAISD, you all have I believe I was given 2, so I'm going to show you the math one. So I'm going to show you, if you click on your math curriculum, it's going to open into a different tab again, and you'll be taken into a spreadsheet. And so in this spreadsheet here, you'll have different tabs at the bottom for your grade level. And so again, if I'm a second grade teacher, I can come down to the bottom. I can look at the standard and the description. And I can also see, again, off to the right, what Seesaw lesson in the library correlates back with that standard for your curriculum. So really nice, clean way to see by grade level what Seesaw lessons correlate back to your district curriculum. The one thing I do want to note about this spreadsheet, or any spreadsheets that you see in our curriculum alignments, is you're welcome to share these out. Please share away. What I don't recommend you do is file, make a copy, because these are living, breathing documents that our Seesaw team currently actively works on. At any time you can probably see one of our little heads poking in there. And so we are actively working on these all of the time and updating it as these curriculums update themselves as well. So you're welcome to bookmark them, share it with your team, maybe put it as a link in your PLC document that you work on with your team. That way you can always refer back to it. I just wouldn't make a copy of it. I just make sure to tell everyone that. That way you always have the most updated copy yourself. So again, that's just at the very bottom. You can search by curriculum alignments. We have ELA as well. I know a lot of people like to go to the PK frameworks. We're working on trying to get some more as well. So if you have any ideas, or you see one that's missing, please let us know and we will do our very best to try to add that as well. So with all that being said, it is your turn to explore the Seesaw library. So again, you're going to do the very same thing. You're going to go in and you're going to tap on the library button from your journal tab. you're going to go in and explore a subject. So maybe thinking back this past few months, what was a unit that you struggled trying to get some extra supplemental curriculum, or you were just struggling to find a really engaging activity for your students? This will be a great place to start and search in the Seesaw library. Don't forget to heart anything, save it so it goes into your My Library, or maybe you want to take a look and browse in the standards alignment tool. So I'm going to set my timer for 5 minutes. If you have any questions, please drop them in the chat, or feel free to come off mute to grab either my attention or Jeanette's attention. All right, explore, explore away.
This is my first time using Seesaw. Do I find it under ClassLink?
Sorry. Yes, it's in on the single sign-on ClassLink. It's also in our app portal. So if you have an iPad and you want to download it.
All right. So for Artie, you would need to look for Seesaw in ClassLink.
Yeah, I'm not able to see that either. Let me try it on the single sign on. I did it. I have it saved as a link too. I'll check again real quick.
Okay. And then let us know what you're able to find and do.
If I can help, sometimes I have trouble finding things in single sign-on also because it's so many apps. We have so many, so I just type it at the top. Just type Seesaw and it'll pull it up. Just a FYI.
Perfect. Thank you for that. Appreciate your help. And Sylvia, yes, it is so awesome. Yes. Yeah, and you can definitely assign those videos as a reference for their homework at home. It is a great reference tool for them to be able to utilize. Great idea. All right, so quick little pause here before we move on to the components piece. So just really quickly want to check in. Is there anything that resonated with you all? And what collections really excite you? Is there anything that you think would be best for you moving forward, like a lesson that you're like, wow, I really need to use this? I'd love to hear from you. You can definitely type it in the chat, or you're welcome to come off mute and share. Phonics, yes. Thank you, Artie, for letting us know about not being able to find Seesaw. I'm going to have to defer to Jeanette on this one.
Artie, check to see if you can click the plus sign and maybe add it. What grade do you teach? You might
I
have
teach
to.
6th through 8th.
Yeah, it may not be automatically there, so it might be the app. You need to add it. So if you click the
Okay.
plus sign, it might be in the list of things that you can add. And you can totally use Seesaw with 6th grade. I used it with middle school kids many times, so don't make that. So if you click the plus sign in ClassLink and type in Seesaw, then you should be able to get it. Let me know if that's. And Fernandez also.
I'm not sure, Fernandez, where you are from and what kind of like portal system your district has.
This is Williams again. I still am not able to find it. I tried typing it in to add it, and it asks for a URL also. It doesn't come up when I just type in Seesaw altogether, or Seesaw is
Okay.
2 words.
Let me.
I mean, I don't want to take up your time for this for everybody else. So, I mean, if I can work offline for you, because I've seen what it can do, and I know that it's something that I could use at times as another tool. But I don't want to I don't want to take the next 30 minutes doing this.
Sure. Let me check out ClassLink and see what some of your options are.
Because everything comes up. I have ClassLink. You just click on it, and it's got everything alphabetical that Longfellow Middle School
Right.
uses. And then I went to single source, and it's the same thing, alphabetical. I tried to hit the plus button, but if I don't know if maybe you can put the URL in the chat box.
Yeah,
I might be
let me
able to add that too.
Yeah, I'll try that. Let me see
Then
if
I'll
it'll.
let you know if we have success or not.
Sure.
Awesome.
I'll
All right.
find something.
Thank you. All right, well, let's go ahead and move on to the components of a lesson. And so now that we have talked about the Seesaw library, let's talk about the different components that each lesson offers. So with Seesaw lessons, your students are going to be able to explore skills in multimodal and cross-curricular ways. They're going to be able to share their voice and choice, which we know is so important. They're going to be able to also see the impact of their very hard work over time, as you will also be able to see that as well. You're also going to be able to extend that learning at home if you would like, or you can do those pieces with partners in the classroom. And you can also see how it can also deepen the learning inside of your classroom. And all of this you can expect from every single lesson that we offer inside of this Seesaw library. So all of our lessons include that instructional content, which you already saw by offering that piece of instructional video there that you can engage with your learners. You have multiple learning activities for that purposeful practice. We have those homeschool world connections, which are those connect activities. And again, they don't have to be done at home. They can definitely be done at school with partners. And you also have opportunities for reflection and assessment. So those are those show what you know activities. So let's take a look here at the instructional content. And in every lesson, this is really used to introduce or review a concept, really activating that prior background knowledge that your students will need to complete the activities. So this comes from our STEAM Design Thinking collection. This is a 3rd through 5th grade collection in the Seesaw library. And so you have already noticed that you as the teacher have that option to present that content to your whole class by just tapping on present to class. And so this is really meant for everyone to watch it. You can also still watch it individually or in small groups. And so you're going to notice that our instructional content varies from videos to interactive read alouds. You're also going to notice in one of our writing collections, we even have podcasts. So really just entertaining the students and really engaging them in various ways. In every lesson too, you're also going to get multiple opportunities to practice skills in multi-dimensional ways using Seesaw's powerful tools. So those are those pens, the label tools, the microphone, the video tool. Annotation really allows them to practice those skills that you're already teaching in class. So on average, our lessons can take about 10 or so minutes to complete. But again, you know your students best, and you should plan for your students to work on our Seesaw lessons over multiple days. And that's the way our lessons are designed to be completed. So maybe like a week span of time. Again, you may not assign all of those activities either. So you do have the option, like I was showing you, to present to class those activities and practice them first. So that way students have an understanding of what they are expected to do in independent practice, or during centers and stations, by just doing that present to class, having students come up, practicing with those multimodal tools, or watching you model using the multimodal tools, and really giving them that chance again to interact with that activity. So again, really just a great opportunity here for students, again, to get those practice of the foundational skills. And this example that you're looking at here comes from Phenomenal Phonics, which does support phonics at the world level. And these are built for like kindergarten or PK through about 2nd grade students. And so you see like sorting and blending and segmenting of words using our multimodal tools. So that built-in homeschool connection really can extend the learning outside of the classroom, which we know can engage families as partners in our learning process. But again, this activity or activities can also be completed in school with a partner. These activities are really designed to take your students off the computer and engage with that hands-on learning experience, and then they can capture what they've done right inside of Seesaw. So this comes from our Mission Code collection, and this is a 3rd through 5th grade collection right inside of our computer science collection. And so I really love this because students become secret agents, and they get to use Scratch and Scratch Junior, and they're really looking at problem solving, explaining programming decisions. So really a fun way to look at coding in computer science. So I really love these lessons. They did a really good job creating these. And then finally, reflections and assessments really provide you, the teacher, valuable insights into your students' learning. So you will see these in every Seesaw lesson. This is going to be the very last activity. So this one comes from Power Blocks Math, which we have looked at together. This is a kindergarten through second grade lesson here. And again, it just addresses the power of mathematics. And again, students have those multiple opportunities to practice their skills in multidimensional ways. And so again, students have multiple opportunities to show you what they know. You can send it back to them. They have, again, multiple opportunities to improve on their skills. So just a reminder once again that every lesson here has a detailed and printable lesson plan to really help you be successful in integrating this into your instructional routines. So once again, you're going to see that jump to lesson plan at the top of every lesson. So please take advantage of this. And it's really going to showcase you all that you're going to need to know to be successful in this lesson. And so don't forget you can print it. I think the most important piece here is like if you're looking at computer science, that we have this for computer science, but it's also for every single lesson as well. Oh, I still like printing. Yes. I know a lot of teachers love printing. I mean, yes, it's nice to print. That way you can write out your own notes too, because as we're PLCing with our teaching partners, sometimes, it's good to write out a little note. So I'm just going to come in here back into Seesaw, and I'm just going to come at the top, and I'm actually going to show you a different collection here. We're going to go into our early literacy collection. I'm going to come back into all so you can see everything here. And so let's come into, let's see, Phenomenal Phonics is a really good collection. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to tap View All Lessons. And we're going to come in and we're going to look at the letter M sound spelling board. And so here again, if this is a lesson that I really want my students to explore maybe independently, this is something that I can practice together with my students. So again, using that present to class, allowing my students to come up to the board or using their device, we can practice this together, remembering that I have those built-in scaffolds too. We've got English and Spanish directions. There's a small, quick video tutorial on every slide. They've even got audio scaffolds too built in, and so we can practice the letter M sort. So mad, man, nut. Does nut make the M sound? And so really practicing this sort together. And then you can assign it back out to your students. And that way they have the ability to practice this independently or in centers and stations. And just remember that if you do save this, you do have the ability to tap on the three dots and edit this activity to make it, to meet the needs of your students best. And also if you double tap on the template, you can come in here. Maybe this template is the first thing that you focus on with your students and you engage them. And then if you tap on the three dots here, you can duplicate it. And then you can also come in here and then you can make up different words if you want to, different letter M sounds, or you can kind of trick them up and see what they would put in their M sort. And then that's what you assign to them, is they have to complete page 2 since you did page 1 together. So just a little note there that you can edit any of our activities. So let's see, let's go back. And now, let's see, looking at time, I will give you about 3 minutes to explore a lesson. I know that's not a lot of time, but I want to give you a little bit of time just to kind of run it in there and like practice on that present to class real quick. And present to class, you can use this from the Seesaw lessons, community library, or an activity that you create yourself. So 3 minutes to go in there, and then we'll move on to instructional routines. right. Hope you were able to at least get in there and practice using present a class. And now we're going to move on to integrating. So now that you've kind of seen how we have our Seesaw lessons in the library and see all the components now, think about the different parts of your day. Think about how the Seesaw lessons can definitely fit into the different parts of your routines as a teacher. And so that's what we're going to look at now. So remember that lessons can build mastery of standards aligned skills through that purposeful practice over multiple days. Remember, we said that lessons are designed to take about a week at a time. We don't have to assign them all in one day. So lessons can be flexibly integrated into your already established daily routine, such as that whole class, centers or stations, and that independent practice time. So let's look at an example here of how lessons can be used in whole class. So here we can see that whole that instructional video really to kick off the learning in your classroom. So again, by providing that instructional content that we talked about, really in the form of a video, is just a great way to make instruction more accessible and engaging for all of your students. So again, you would go in and you would tap on present a class to really introduce the activity. And you're going to watch this all together and you're going to engage in that class discussion. So let's take a listen to the video real quick.
Letter P makes it pop, 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 pop. Letter P makes it pop, 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 pop. Pretty, pretty, please.
So as you can see, we're learning about the letter P. It's just a fun little quick video, less than a minute. Just to reinforce the letter and that the letters sound. So as you finish watching this, you can decide as the teacher if you want to move on to that second slide, which is the discussion slide. And you can do this as whole class, or you can bring it back to your table for small group instruction. So the teacher tip here is then to assign the rest of those activities, sending out your students to complete that rest of the learning independently. Just don't forget to assign this instructional video so that way they have it as a reference while they can continue to work on the rest of the lesson. And I believe one of you had stated that these instructional videos are really good and that you would like to assign them as part of like the reference for homework. So as you can see, again, it is a really good reference for your students as well. And so here, lessons can also be used for centers and stations to support differentiated learning. And so you, as the teacher, can assign a Seesaw lesson that includes here as a instructional video to, again, reinforce that skill that you've already been practicing on in class. And it really does support your students when they're working in centers and stations. So this one is a math skills game that comes from our math skills collection. And it's called a war game, and it's tailored for K-5 students, and they can play it with a partner. So what they do is they're just going to watch that video together. They can watch it as many times as they need to watch it, and hopefully they won't have to come up and interrupt you either. And then they just fill out the second page together. And so this is really a fun and interactive way to practice that skill during center time. And so for you as the teacher, this is also a really great template that you can follow and you can recreate a math skills game as you move on throughout the school year. So maybe you decide, oh, well, I'm going to record myself playing with my teacher partner, or maybe I'm going to record 2 students playing a dice game, and then I'm going to put like a paper copy for them to fill out and turn in. So definitely take this as kind of like your Seesaw template and create a math skills game on your own. So these are great. We've got a couple sitting in the Seesaw library. I think the plan is to continue to create a couple more for you all. So really take this and turn it around and make it your own for your students. So in the Fun Phonemes collection, students again have those multiple opportunities to practice their phonemic awareness by following Soundtown. He's one of our puppets. And he's going to practice the phonemes in the English language. So he practices with Teacher Barnes that you see here. And in all of these practice activities, the collection really includes a lot of that instructional content to really support your students independently. And so they're going to watch Teacher Barnes and Soundhound make sounds with their mouths, so that way they can refer back to the video whenever they need help. So as you can see, the video sits at slide 1, and then they have their activities to follow after that. So let's take a listen to the video.
Watch as I make the p sound. First, I put my lips together. Then I push out my lips and blow out a puff of air.
So as you can see, again, they're listening to the letter P sound. And again, they can refer back to slide 1 as they continue to work on those practice activities. So again, the students are going to get repeated practice of this skill independently. They're going to be able to listen to, make, identify, see examples, and match that sound that they are learning about. And just a reminder again that those scaffolds are already included in the form of the audio directions that you see on every single page. So your students would be able to go in there and click on the audio scaffolds. So really including everything that they need to be able to learn and practice that skill independently. So again, these are just a few ways that you can use Seesaw for that independent practice. So when you are ready, you're going to go in and you're going to assign an activity. You can select which students you want to assign these activities to. Maybe you have a folder already selected. You want to organize it by folder. But again, you can always assign them how you want, by groups as well. And you can also tag a skill to the activity as well. So if you want to tag a skill to an activity, you can. I would check with your school, see if they've added skills for you, or Jeanette, you may know. If not, you can actually add it yourself as the teacher. And then you can also add it by group. So you can create groups in Seesaw as well. So maybe you've got a reading group 1, math group, or maybe you've got skills groups, and that's just a different way that you can also differentiate those activities for the students in your classroom. And then the last thing here too is just to make sure that you know that you can schedule your lessons to be assigned, and then that those lessons will not appear in the students activities tab until that date and time that you've selected. So while you're planning, this is a great time to go in there and schedule it. I know some teachers don't like to do this because they forget that they've scheduled a lesson, and that's okay. But if you are very much a planner, this is a tool built just for you. Just don't do what I've done before and schedule it for like 10 p.m. instead of 10 a.m. So just make sure you check on that a.m. and p.m. time frame, and then just tap the green check and it's ready to go for you. So real quickly, I'm just going to go in and I'm going to show you how you would do this. So if you've been practicing and you are ready for your students to do the blend, again, you would just come in and you would tap assign. You may only have one class, and that's okay. So you would tap on your class. And then that edit students, folders, and skills, again, is where you're going to see your groups, your students, your folders, and your skills. So if you have groups, which I do, you can uncheck all your students and then select the group that would get this activity. And so my reading group 2 is going to see this activity. And when I check it, I see that 4 students receive it. All those students are checked off at the bottom. If I want to add a folder, I can, because I already have folders created. And those skills are all of my TEKs that I have already preloaded in my school. If not, you can always add a new skill. When I'm ready, I just tap the green check. If I want to schedule it, make sure you tap schedule. Again, it's just assigning it on that date and time, or I can assign it immediately. And then I can assign it immediately. and I can check it out and see that I have it there. And then I can just continue to wait. I'll just wait on my kiddos to make sure that they're completing their work, and I can just check in on them throughout the week. Okay. All right, so in the deck, I have a plan for you. So just making sure that you do create this plan for yourself, thinking about your classroom routines, making sure that you are integrating Seesaw lessons as you move throughout your planning process, and making sure that you do remember to assign and schedule it. So we are nearing the end now. And so you did it. You learned all about the Seesaw library, all about our components of a lesson, and how to integrate our Seesaw lessons into your everyday instructional routines. So your exit ticket for today is just to make sure that you make a plan for how you will introduce Seesaw lessons to your students. So really thinking about that back to school timeframe. How do you want to introduce lessons to your students? I think a lot of you were on board with the videos, which is a really fun and easy way to do lessons. Present to class is super fun as well. And so don't forget too, we've got great learning for free and asynchronous. And so we've got learn at seesaw.me, and we've also got our training page. So our, let's see, here's our learning hub. You can come in here and you can actually get free learning. And then if you complete the learning, you also get a certificate. So I know as Texas teachers, we always have to keep up our certifications. So this is one way that you can do it. And if your district accepts those certifications, hey, it's one extra hour you've got under your belt. And then we do have a training page here. We've got free training, we've got on-demand training, and we will be adding some back to school webinars pretty soon. So just keep an eye out on that page. So